community server. Cause if not, what's the purpose? That's why I'm standing on business. That's why I'm standing on business, yeah. They truly don't deserve it. Gotta ride with a purpose. That's why I'm standing on business. That's why I'm standing on
I need my community to be my unity. Need it to be a safer place to stay for you and me. If I'm that child role model, start using me. We need real teachers who don't mind schooling deep. The child who don't know what he wanna be. Need to bring the churches in.
Is that what I'm hearing from you?
Well, I'm prepared at any cost. I've always extended a hand of forgiveness to my mom. But sometimes, you know, when people are being sincere and they're making sincere attempts, and that attempt haven't been sincere to me, there's still people that's involved in this situation that I feel should not be involved in this situation, that has nothing to do with this family's situation.
Who, like Nony?
Keith. And I think that she's bringing people aboard that don't have no
Miss Virginia got one person.
And it's influencing her decision.
And
she's made this something that it shouldn't be. Because nothing, no app should influence a relationship between a mother and a son.
Miss Virginia got us. That's
you know what I'm saying? I feel that she's allowed a lot of the influence from people that's not privy to our situation, don't know Keith well, and that's made and she's made a lot of bad choices. Even with Massacre, I can speak on that. I'm gonna speak on that because it needs to be spoken. When I talked to her, I didn't want to get involved because that's not my business, but at the same time, I do think that it's important for Keith to know whether that is his child or not.
Told y'all that's where she got the number.
I mean, that a child should know who his father is. And I think it's important for you to put aside this
the same
influence
shit he been
that's
saying.
causing you to not make a decision to allow this young lady to find out if this is in fact Keith's child. I think that's very important. And that's just one of the things that has created division in just her even knowing her knowing if that's her grandchild. And that's crazy to me.
Right. So with that being said, you know, Big O is a big place, and I don't want to really keep bringing Big O over here, but you know we do listen. And that's
what else you got?
So
you got to bring
Big O. It has been said that Massacre could get the DNA from you. Would you be willing to do something like that? Would you be willing to help Massacre out if she had no other way of doing it?
Yeah, I would be because it's important to put aside. I mean, this is a young child, and I don't know the stipulations behind it, but I would want to know if that's his child.
Guys, we're gonna open the box something after
that she had a problem with
the
Nunu.
interview. Oh, they're gonna truth tell. Hold on.
Was dealing with the so-called ops as well, but that was never something that created a wedge.
Wait a minute.
To keep her away from Kaden.
So
why would it influence
What's going on? You can hear me?
I can hear you.
Did this dumb nigga just say he's worried about his mother getting influence from outside sources, but he's sitting there talking to a bitch that his brother don't even fuck with, who's an outside influence, who's some chick off a fucking Bigo. Did this dumb nigga did he go live first of all saying, she's dead to me, then saying, I'm not going to accept her apology, then going to say, if I feel it's sincere. That's three different things. First of all, this dumb nigga was so thirsty to go motherfucking live. He was an hour motherfucking early. Or he too fucking dumb. He don't know the difference between Central Time or Eastern Time. Which one is it?
He put 6 p.m. And I think he meant Central.
No, it's on the flyer. 8 p.m. Eastern. It's on the flyer. But this dumb nigga can't tell time. Or he just so thirsty to go live. Which, I mean, it's either he dumb or he's stupid, or he just so thirsty to go live. That's why Nony's like, wait, this dumb nigga an hour early. But you hear the dumb shit he's saying. I'm in the chat. I'm listening. This shit is a joke. We're gonna break this shit down. We're gonna break this nigga down, and then I'm really waiting for if Miss Regina does decide to rebuttal, we're gonna let her do her motherfucking thing, and then I would just come in and I would just sweep all of this shit up.
Period. All right, true.
But that's not true, not accurate. I went over there the first time, over to his home, and she made it about her. She didn't make it about Keith. And I think that in this situation, it's important to think about what Keith wants.
They wasn't
This is his life
house.
that's on the line. This is not her life.
First life.
And she should not have the
first set of lies.
Who's able to see him. And that degree of separation creates the problems that we see today.
Thank you, Vita.
You know, because a lot of people that love Keith don't have access to him, and he can't see the people that he wants to see. And I think everybody should have that opportunity to spend time with him, to talk to him, to encourage him, to motivate him. And that's a big part of his recovery, I believe, when you have dealing with the trauma that he's dealt with from the impact of that accident. And he needs to see familiar faces. And at the beginning stages of the accident, a couple of months later, he was talking, he was playing dominoes, and all of a sudden you put him on here and you hear just a bunch of...
But Nony was saying that was a lie.
You don't know,
that he wasn't doing that. He couldn't talk.
You know, I don't think they should have ever put that out. That just it made it look bad what they were doing when they allowed him to come online and speak like that, when we know, myself, Ghost, Shay, know that he was speaking well.
Girl.
And this was closer to the accident, but now that's evidence of his regression.
Anybody know?
To me,
they be in and out. Anybody who's telling the truth.
All right, Kevin. So
that's why Ghost got put out, because he was lying.
Since Dontrell has been gone, who has been helping Regina?
He don't know.
From my firsthand knowledge, the last person that was helping was my uncle. And when they fell out, it was nobody. So you got this 60-year-old woman that has to care for Keith on her own. And that's a lot. Keith is still strong, you know, and he needs somebody there that's going to help move him around, help, you know, bathe them, things like that. So these are things that a lot of the family members that really love Keith, and like myself, Ghost, which I think is very important and was pivotal. A lot of people don't understand this. Ghost was very pivotal in getting Keith to do things that other people couldn't get him to do. I spoke with him recently, and he talked about how he would say something like, "What you think Brandon would say about you looking like this?" When he wouldn't get up.
What?
And he literally got up because of him mentioning Brandon. So he played those psychological things with
y'all hear this shit
to get him to move. And it worked. So that's real. That's what you have to do sometimes. That was a motivating factor, and that's something that only somebody that's close to Keith would know to tell him to do. You know, when it comes to Brandon or the people that he viewed as people that would say something about him, and so it motivated him to get up when he didn't want to, when the other doctors couldn't even get him up.
I do recall Ghost saying that it was times when he didn't want to go to his physical therapy, and, you know, he would motivate him, you know what I'm saying, to go and attend. So I know that possibly what you're saying is in fact, because I know, you know, like you said in the beginning, he was doing things, but then, you know, after a while, he stopped doing things.
Yes.
So my next question for you is, has the weight of all this situation had a negative effect on your marriage?
No. No. My wife is totally confident in me. She knows the character of the man that I am. She's still doing the things that a strong woman would do. And that's part of the reason why I chose to sit my ass down and listen to her and to follow her lead in some things, because she's the one who's sustaining me and encouraging me to stay strong when the days when the shit really gets to me.
Right.
You know, because it does. When you hear people saying things that's so untrue, and during this critical stage in my life, with me getting older and me, you start thinking about life in a different way when you getting a little bit older and you want to be a little bit more responsible and productive. And sometimes I lost my will to continue. But if it wasn't for my wife sustaining me, I couldn't do anything that I've been doing. It's been very difficult for me. It's been long rides. It's been a lot of thinking, contemplating. I have kids here that I support and take care of, and they need me to encourage them in things. And so the strength of my marriage is vital to my ability to continue, because if it wasn't there, I don't think I would invest as much time as I had.
He trying to be
it takes
really
a lot to leave work and come here and get on here and then watching videos all day and all night of people like yourself and Brandon and Ebb, and trying to learn this environment, because you guys got years of experience in here, and so things that I had to do in a month to try to figure out who are these people and what do they do and what is the issue with Pastor P and this person and that person. So she's been very patient, and it has sustained our marriage, her strength. So I thank God for that.
And you have it seems like you have an excellent, good wife that's willing to go beyond, measures, because this is a lot. And I want to tell you that in your little time, you have really, really picked up a lot. A lot of people could not pick up like you did. A lot of people say, oh, Kevin's got a page over there. I said, no, Kevin's just strategic. And what he does, I said, Kevin is very strategic. He watches a lot of people, and he catches on, and it's hard for them to believe that, but I believe it. I believed it from the very beginning. When I broke down the lion and your, the thing, I said, okay, I already know where he going. Let's go here. I'm gonna show him, look, it ain't just big O. I get it. You understand what I'm saying?
Right. And that was one of the motivating factors.
She'll roll with his
When
agenda.
you broke that down. And because a lot of people, it went over their head. And I was trying to test the waters to see if people was really doing their homework. And you went in there and got it. And I was like, I kind of looked back like, who is this person? It's been moments where I saw people do stuff, and I said, well, who is this? And I went and studied you for days on days. All your videos, well, most the ones that's on YouTube, because I can't see nothing else.
Right.
But I did do my homework. That's for sure. I had to do my homework, because I don't like getting in nothing when I don't know anything about it, because then you get taken advantage of. Absolutely. And so I had to learn the lingo, learn what who these people are. And
no, Miss Regina's not watching. She don't have a page over here.
P. So
absolutely,
I did do my homework.
Excellent job. You did an excellent job.
Thank you,
Her Throne. So my next question is, if you had another chance, would you have addressed this whole situation differently?
Nope. I'm unapologetic. Initially, like I said, I was on my Instagram. I never went to Bigo because I didn't want to be affiliated or associated with Pastor P. And it wasn't because I don't love my brother. It was because I just didn't believe in what he was doing on there. I just did not. Wow. And I think the justification of it was the fact that he stated that this was him on the app and Keith is someone else in real life. So I said, okay, well, I could go with that philosophy. And I thought that people would understand my position when I refrained from getting on the app.
Wow.
And a lot of people were saying, well, you got potential to go over here and do this and do that. I'm not here for that. I'm here to support my brother, and I cannot cross those lines. And I did not the whole time.
You sure didn't. You sure didn't. Remain 10 toes. All right. So what was the dynamic overall with your relationship between you, Keith, and Regina that caused your relationship to be the way it is now?
Thank you, bitch, be fair.
Back to Virginia.
I think more or less that with as far as me and Keith, our division came because we are two different people, and then he spent a lot of time in prison. I spent a lot of time in the military, so that creates separation, right? So I was not around as much with Keith, and I wasn't even in Toledo, so a lot of people don't understand that. It wasn't so much that we didn't want to be around each other, it's because our lifestyles and our life choices were different, and there was a degree of separation as far as our environment. So we were not around each other. I was out of state. He was here in Ohio, or he was in prison, and I was in Iraq, or in Dubai, or Germany, or something like that. So it wasn't that we just didn't want to be around each other. And then when we came around each other, my mom created a lot of division, and I showed that in so many ways. Some of the text messages that I put on my community showed how she was against him at times, and then at times when she was against me, she was with him, and she would tell him things and then tell me things. And I was more so like trying to refrain from getting in Keith's business because I didn't want to make Keith's business my business. But the divide came basically because my mother was creating that division, and we didn't come together until around 2018, where we sat down with one another and had a conversation. And he said, "Man, did you say this?" And no, I never said that. And then I said, "Man, did you say?" Man, Mom been playing us the whole time, bro.
Well, that ain't what Ghost said.
That's when we started coming around each other. We used to go out to dinner a couple of times. During the holidays,
tell the truth about what he said after that fishing
trip. We would do things on our own. We didn't do it without my mom. And just like I said, and it's consistent. For 20 years or so more, I don't even recall sitting down with all three of us and having dinner in 20 years. But the claim is that we this strong nucleus, which we never were, to me, until since we moved out of my mom's home, which we lived infrequently with her. So I don't know what she talks about when she says, well, she raised us to be a certain kind of way and be a strong unit. That never was so. And we didn't always stay with her. Now, that was the cause of our degree of separation, me and my brother. But with me and my mother, it was always contention, conflict. Maybe I favored my auntie and she didn't like my auntie, so she disagreed with my union with my aunties, and so she disassociated herself from me.
Girl.
There's various reasons why me and my mom did not speak, and we did not have a close relationship. And one of the main reasons was when I went to Iraq, I gave her my power of attorney, and she took all of my money. And she was the primary on my life insurance. Her and Keith was, like I showed. And I felt that was a huge betrayal. And that was around 2006 when I found that out. So that changed the dynamics of our relationship, and I could no longer trust her anymore. So and we did things to try to restore our relationship back and forth, but it never sustained because there was always someone or something that came in the middle of it. So
All right, so my next question. If you could go back in time and build a different relationship with Keith, knowing what you know now, would you?
I talked about this with someone else. I don't want to mention his name. And I said that there was risk and things that a lot of people don't understand Keith. They see the image of who he is, but they don't be around him and some of the things that he do. And he took a lot of chances. He was a person that did not show discretion in some areas. Sometimes his ego got the best of him, and that's just not my kind of person to be around. I wish that if afforded the opportunity if he was a different person, then I probably would be around him much more. But the life choices that he made,
so that validates.
I could not support and be around him.
Ghost said that Keith said when they went fishing, never again. That's what Ghost told Miss Regina.
But my brother spent time in prison. He did a lot of things, you know, that I didn't agree with. So I wish, I wish that we could be close, because when we came together, it was powerful. When we was on the same terms, it was powerful, us being together. But when, you know, in his normal lifestyle, I couldn't be in that environment. I made choices to walk away from the streets when I was young. I didn't want that to be a part of my life. He embraced it.
Okay. All right.
Oh, he's a goody two shoes. Look at the goody two shoes.
I want you to take 5 words.
Look at the goody
and describe Keith before the accident.
Smart, go-getter.
Stop.
Relentless. Energetic. Charming. There's so many words, so many great things about that man that anybody, if he could use his influence for something positive, he would. I wouldn't mind standing behind him and supporting him like I am now.
Listen to this.
I've never been jealous of my
like you are
never.
now.
That is the biggest lie ever told. I have never been jealous of my brother. I know he said things to imply, but I think that only comes from an influence. But me, myself, I've never been driven for materialism, for women. I was an athlete, college athlete. I was spoiled. I got what I wanted naturally, organically. I didn't have to be this person that went out and got things and accumulated things to get the attention that some other people have to do. I've always been a person who was just organically, naturally getting the things that I wanted. So I'm not saying that my brother was or wasn't. I'm just saying that that's just me. So if you talk to my cousins and all that, they would never say that I was ever jealous of Keith. Never. They love me. I love my brother. I give my brother anything. Right. Anything.
You both
when he got out of jail the first time. And see, a lot of people said this too, that I didn't visit him in jail. That was a lie. I got pictures of visiting Keith in jail. That's a lie.
Right.
I visited him in jail. When he got out of jail, I made sure he had money and I bought him clothes, shoes. Wow. The first time he got out of jail.
If you start biting, I'm going to put you down. Stop.
So, if I was jealous of him, why would I do any of that? Not jealous of that man. I'm grateful for the things that he was able to accomplish, the good things. And if he had millions of dollars, I will always stand behind him, love him, and support him. And
if he had millions of dollars
about him.
What?
Which makes you your brother's keeper. Both of y'all have the charm. Both of y'all are funny. I see characteristics similar in both of y'all. Okay, when people thought he could roast, Kevin could roast too. You've done it. So y'all both are very, very charming individuals.
We did it to one another.
Yeah, you can tell.
Get off the goddamn phone. Let's go.
So I want you to use 5 words to describe Keith to this date.
To this date?
Mm-hmm. After the accident.
When I look at him, vulnerable. Sad. Mad. Frustrated. Just persistent at the same time. Because I see him, when I sat next to him, he was trying to look at me when I was talking to him, and he didn't move. He tried to look at me, and
listen to his story.
I was just telling him I loved him.
Listen to the story.
I was praying for him, and I was crying when I saw him because it affected me a lot. And I think the hardest thing about this whole situation is that people can't see him the way that he is now. Stop. I think if people can see him the way that he is now, I think it will humble a lot of people. And it's very, very extremely sad to me to see him vulnerable, because I've never seen Keith vulnerable like I've seen him. Right? Even when he went to jail, he smiled in his mugshot. He told us he was going to do it. He smiled. He embraced it. So he never wanted to show that he was vulnerable or anything like that. But I just think that he just gave in and just said, this is what it is. And his disposition looks like that.
Right. And it's crazy because I feel that. I felt that ever since the accident. I felt that just knowing that the man that we all know as the roaster, the man we all know as making you laugh, the comedian, how strong-willed he was. I always say it all the time, he's a Virgo. So that makes him very strong-willed. He's about his money. He's about everything that he sets his mind to. So to just envision him, pretty much lifeless without doing that is just devastating within itself. You understand what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
And I think you're correct. I think that if a lot of people were to see his state, their minds would change, a great deal. Now, would it humble them? I mean, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I do. I feel that. I do.
Mm-hmm.
So, my next question is, what are your issues between you and Don Shay?
There are no issues at this point. I disassociated myself from that situation after I saw a video where Keith expressed that he wanted Shay to have access to all the things that everybody's been taken away from her. Right? And that was his choice. And once I saw that, I said, okay, well, if he said it, then I have to support it. And that's one humbling moment for me. At first, initially, I was upset about a lot of things, and I didn't understand a lot of things. But like she said, I only seen her maybe 5 times, maybe 5 or 6 times out of the whole time that she's been with Keith. So I didn't know her as much as she didn't know me, but I just didn't like a lot of things that I saw, but I didn't understand it until I saw that video. And I said, well, if that's what his wishes is, he should have. That's what he should have. So that's when I broke down everything, and I called her and I talked to her, and we had a conversation, and I was just humbled by that, and I just shut my mouth, and I'm still in her corner as far as when it comes to Keith. Right. Everybody has their opinion about certain things, but this ain't about my opinion, my mom's opinion, nobody else's opinion. This is about what Keith wants. And if that's not the center of the focus, I don't think that is going to be a good thing for Keith.
Right. It kind of makes sense because it's kind of like you kind of prejudged her, not knowing, their relationship dynamics. But then once you see that he, you understand, is saying, hey, look, this is the love of my life. This is, that's who he was calling for. Then you said, okay, look, who am I to pass the judgment on you? Let me shut my mouth, which it's a wise deal. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of people should be like that. Once they see and know that Don Shay, I mean, if you're a Facebook girl like me, you know that Don Shay is that girl. You know that. So it's like, it's not rocket science. But if you don't know somebody, it happens. We all do it. We all do it.
Let me add something to that, too. she had said a lot of things about me as well that made me feel a certain type of way too. Because it's like, you don't know me either. So why are you saying this to other people and insinuating that I'm trying to do something or be something that I'm not trying to be when you don't know me? So I think both of us did that. It wasn't just me. But I'm thinking for the well-being of my brother. So I'm not thinking about from her perspective, or she's not thinking from my perspective. Right. She's thinking about the brand. She's thinking about her man. She's thinking about what she's thinking about, but I'm thinking about from my perspective. So it was just a conflict of interest, and we didn't know each other. So, and she said some things to other people that I found out that I wasn't happy about, and I confronted her about it, and she apologized.
Right.
So I'm cool. But it took that to stop that.
Right. I'm glad that y'all got it together. Because, at the end of the day, misunderstandings happen all the time. All the time. All right, Kevin. My next question is, will any of the proceeds from Save Keith he were to go home in his home?
Absolutely. Since we've been getting the money, the first thing we do is they told me that the other side said that they were not going to give me any bills and they were not going to let me know anything. So I worked through Don Shay to pay everybody was getting on me. Well, why you pay the water bill? Because Shay said that was the most important thing to pay. So she initially it was on a payment plan. So I just told her, just give me the bills and I take the proceeds and Save Key 419 and pay it off. It proved to be the right thing because it's people that's living in and occupying that place. So, and then once all that was taken care of and I didn't know what bills need to be paid, I decided, and I sat down with my wife and I said, well, we should just give it to the kids. They need phones. They need all this stuff. We contacted them and found out where they were. And so we just started giving them money indiscriminately for anything. And that's just, even she was saying, but maybe you should slow down and not give this. Well, Keith always gave when they asked. So whatever that was there, I figured that would be an extension. And I always, every time I sent something, I said it was from Dad. This is from Dad. This is from Dad. Because the people were donating. And so as they're donating, and myself, I donated as well. I took the money and just gave it to the kids. We was down to $3 a couple of weeks ago. We was down to $3. And so I was coming out of my pocket when people asked, and I would put it in Save Key 419 and just send it off to the kids. If anything, if they needed sandwiches or
so as an offer, you couldn't have gave them nothing, huh?
Anything that they needed, we just gave it away. Right. And so that's what we did. If the money is there and available, of course, it would go towards the cause of helping Keith because that's what it's here for, to help Keith.
Absolutely. Well, I've seen the receipts of what you've done, and that's the reason why I donated, because I seen what you were doing. Even though you didn't have to provide anybody with anything, you did. And so I know that you're doing the right thing. So we're going to move on. Do you feel like you have broken the generational curse? And if so, how has it made you a better person, father, husband, and brother going forward?
I think I'm breaking it. I haven't broke it. It's yet to be broken. And that won't be decided until after I die. Maybe when my kids graduate, my relationship, seeing the goals in my relationship reached and accomplished, and us seeing our kids going off, getting married and things like that. That's the goal that I set, and it's yet to be unfolded. And that's why I take so much time doing the things that I do for my family and supporting my kids and making sure I'm there. And like my dad wasn't there for me, I do it for my kids. And I've learned through observation. or trial and error. I didn't have the example. So I just went by what I believe as far as what I read in the Bible and my experiences in being neglected in certain aspects of my life. And I said that I wouldn't do that to my kids or any other child. So my desire was to continue doing the things that I'm doing is proven to work. And I'm keeping my kids and doing everything that I'm supposed to do with my kids. I think that's the best. That shows that I'm on the pathway to breaking it, but it won't be broken until I see my oldest daughter get married, go to college, graduate college, and I can see the works of the things that I'm striving for at this point in time. I'm just doing the basic, essential things as far as going to work, staying employed, loving my wife, staying faithful and committed, honoring my commitment as far as, just being a voice in my home and leading my home by the Bible. And that's the best thing I could do. But I don't think that my works will be manifested as far as breaking this curse until I'm dead and gone, probably. Or I see these goals that I wish to happen. So it keeps me in a position where I'm striving and continue. I don't ever want to say, well, I broke the curse and I just stopped. No, I got to keep going. It won't be until my kid, like I said, my kids get married and I start seeing the manifestation of some of the things that I've dreamed of when it comes to breaking the curse. Yeah.
But doing the footwork.
Yep.
Footwork. All right. My next question is, do you think that it's fair to ask Keith's kids to engage in your religious beliefs when Keith was spiritual?
When Keith was what?
Spiritual.
Spiritual?
What?
I never impose anything on. Are you asking, do I think, say that again?
So what I'm asking, so in one of your videos, basically, you had implied that y'all, you celebrate or you do things in your religion, right? Mm-hmm. And I believe it was in one point where you said that if they're in the house, then everybody, what's it called that you sit down and you do? I forget the word of it.
Oh, the Shabbat.
Yes. So basically, do you think it's fair to have them do that when basically Keith wasn't, he wasn't your religion, he was just kind of spiritual? Do you think that that's fair?
This is just my home. I have to do what God tells me to do. Okay. And I can't compromise with that. And another thing is this. They had a choice. We presented that option for them. Mm. So as far as fair is concerned, yes, I do think it's fair because it was something that was agreed upon. It wasn't something that I forced them to do. I said, these are the conditions by which I can help you, and they're not hard things to do. Talking about God, sitting down, talking about God on the Shabbat. What's wrong with that? Rest it. Take your time to reevaluate your life and, look at things from a different perspective. There's nothing, you don't need spirituality to have to do that. I think it's something that centers you in on who you are and that whatever, I don't know if my kids are going to take what I say, right? Mm-hmm. But I still do it. Sometimes my kids don't feel like doing certain things, but this is the way the home goes. So when in Rome, you do as the Romans do. And that's just the way I run my home. And you certainly have a choice whether you want to be here or not. I put that choice on my kids. The same choice that they had, my brother's kids had, is the same choice that my kids have. They can go and be with their mom if they so please. Shit. I've never closed the door and locked them in and leave. I just said, if you want to be here, these are the conditions Mila. You must meet.
Hey, boo. I just wanted the reason why I came up is because I'm listening at work. I'm on break right now. But didn't he say he had a dad? His dad, he knew his father.
Yeah.
And now his dad wasn't active in his life?
Yeah. And he was saying Keith the one didn't have a father.
Right. He didn't have
You
any
just listened to that, yesterday?
Yep, that's why he ended up the way he did, because he didn't have a father figure. and your dad, you went to the same high school, he followed the same pattern as his dad. It's like he moved a goalpost every time to benefit him. Like, it's weird. I thought your dad was just this amazing man. You went to the military, you went to the same high schools. Keith's dad won shit, he won around. Now your dad not shit. Ain't that a motherfucker? I just wanted to point out him continuously moving the goalpost. Every time a motherfucker about to shoot and score, he move that motherfucking post. He's a lunatic. That's it. That's all. I don't mean to interrupt. That's it.
Thank you, boo.
5 or 55. You have a choice on what you want to do, but
we
you
paying
can't
attention to the change in the story.
Say things like that. When she left, I was at work.
It's always changing.
I called and I said, "What is going on?" I called out, "What's going on?" Well, she told me that she wanted to go over her friend's house and she don't want to be here anymore because you said that she can't go over. I told her, I said, "What's the problem? You was fine." She said, "Well, I can't go." Well, you're 14 years old and you need to sit down and think about some of your choices. We talked about this the night before and she was fine with it. But then when she woke up, it was a totally different story. And so, but my wife was the only one here and she cut down on my wife. And so I just said, give her what she wants and let her go where she wants. Let her mom know that she's deciding that we don't have any jurisdiction over her. We don't have any insurance cards. We didn't have any rights. We just allowed her to come over here, to help her. And this is not something that we haven't done for other children as well. There has been children in my home that were successful, that actually we supported to get their own place, and they're doing great now. Fantastic. When they were having problems with their mother. So this is not the first time that we've helped and opened our doors for people. This was the first time that we had to endure something like that I don't think that anyone would want to endure, especially with my wife and my kids being in the home. They can't see stuff like that. So we talked to her mom. The mom, she said, "Well, you messed it up with these good people," and she know we was doing good. And the thing was, she was doing good for 5 days. Wow. She came home on time. She was where she was supposed to be. And I called Ghost and I said, "Man, these girls ain't nothing like they said that they was." But then that one day, she just was upset and she wanted to do what she wanted to do. And we just can't have that for 14-year-olds.
Right.
She didn't honor what she said she was going to do. So,
well, I noticed during it all that you never once, when Regina would speak about the behaviors of the girls, you never once debated that. And it seemed to me like because you didn't really know, if it was really some truth to that or not. But now that you've experienced that, would you say that Regina was on point about some of the things that, the behaviors that she said that they had?
These were some of the rules that my mom enforced on me.
That wasn't the question.
So, me and my brother, when it came to my mother as a single woman, this is why we honored her until it took so long for us to start distancing ourselves from our mother, because she was such a pillar to us when we were younger. My mom was like my big brother. When I would get in trouble, she'd be the first one to grab the knife and be looking for a nigga. Like, my mom she was tough. If she's tough now at 60s, imagine her at 30. She was beating up men, right? She's not nobody to play with
at all
when it comes to her kids at that time. And that's what we lived vicariously through into our adulthood, until there was times when she couldn't control us and she couldn't tell us what to do. And that's where there was this great divide, because she no longer had the influence over us that she once did. But Miss Regina was a tough lady, and we had nothing but the admiration and respect for her. When she told us to do certain things, I recall my mom working 3 jobs at one time, and when she told us to go home and be in the house, me and my brother was in the house at a young age, maybe 10, 11, 12. We was in the house.
Earlier he said he said Miss Regina barely had them.
So that's what we hung on to, but
another discrepancy.
Away,
and jot down y'all stuff, y'all, or text it or something so we can remember
like
it.
She did back then.
You can hear the story changes and the lies.
And so she has a lot of struggles in her life too. a lot of shortcomings, just like any single woman.
Now answer the question.
With that amount of pressure on her and not being married and being a single parent.
Now
but
answer
she did a hell
question.
of a good job because
you didn't ever answer the question.
None
of this has anything to do with the question.
Strong-willed as we are right now, I could give her credit for that. Because a lot of things that I do
never
today
had
is because of some of the shit that I seen my mom doing. And that's real. And a lot of the things Keith did. I think Keith is just like my mother in certain ways. They both have the charming ability. It's just a lot of things that I see in Keith that's similar to some of the things that my mom have, and that's real.
Okay. All right. So my next question for you, Kevin, is what is the overall update on Keith's health condition, and do you have any concerns?
There's a lot of concerns because this is a critical stage in his recovery. And like I said, the words that I gave you, the vulnerability, those things come from, I think, him disassociating himself from what he was used to. He was used to certain things, and when you don't see it anymore, it discourages you. And I think that in and of itself is dangerous for him. And I think it stagnates his ability to progress as rapidly as possible, because he has to distance himself from things that he want to do or the people that he loves. So that's my main concern. As far as his body and his health, his overall health. Now, my mom don't know this, but I seen Keith at the cemetery. She don't know it, but I seen him. I seen him when he kissed the balloon and he flew it up in the air. I'm not going to tell her how I seen it, but I seen it. And I seen his state. His beard is growing back in. He had a do-rag on. Right? So, and he was sitting in her car when he let the balloon off. I seen it. She don't know I seen it, but I did. His state is that he still needs assistance. He needs help.
So how you saying him? You saying him smoke weed?
His brain
and all
is
of that. What happened to all that?
In a progressive way because he remembers certain things. They asked him about Granny. Do you know where this is? And he said yes. He know where he was. And so his brain is operating, but his body is not connected to his brain. So, and he's able to move the right side of his body from what I saw. I don't know about the left side, but I know the right side is moving. So his overall state is I just think that he's progressing, but it could be more rapid if he could have the people around him that he needs. He looked a little thinner too to me, a lot thinner than he was.
You mentioned he kissed the balloon. You talking about on JoJo's birthday?
Yep.
Okay.
He kissed the balloon and he let it go.
Okay. I do know that one thing for certain, if you know Keith Jones, you know that he visited JoJo on the regular. And that cameo that TB Killer did for you guys, I was elated today when I seen it. And that is such an awesome thing, what he did with that cameo. So
I know.
I can see Keith, kissing the balloon, letting the balloon up in the air. And it's good, no matter what, he remembers JoJo, because JoJo was his heart. So he remembers JoJo. All right. So my next question. Knowing your faith in God, are you believing in God to heal Keith to his full recovery?
Yes. That's the overall goal. Absolutely. But of course, God do his own thing. and what he doing. You don't know what he's going to do with that situation, but I certainly think that he needs a better opportunity to come closer to God, because I think that he was searching for God. We've had this conversation several times. We got real loud at one another because we talked about God more than when I came around him. I was always the one that was, hey man, you need to, we need to talk about this, but he was always pushing me away because he felt this way and that way, and I could never compel him to really sit down and really focus on it. So now he has to sit down. So with him sitting down, this is an opportunity for me to present something to you. And I believe solely that him getting into this accident and him recovering to this degree gives him an opportunity. But if they're trying to get him to conform to the things that he used to do, I think that that's creating the distance from God, that I think that he needs that to get closer to be restored, because God can heal. And he needs a relationship with God. It doesn't have to be the way that I think it is, but at least some acknowledgement of who God is, because I believe that church where he got into that accident in, that was a sign from God. Without a doubt. I do believe that 100%. I go there and ride my bike there every time, and I'm like, wow, God just, he'll show you, and I thought people would get that, because God, he will do things like this to let you know, hey, I'm God, and you're going to have to bow down to me.
The Alpha and the Omega. And I say that all the time, that when this first happened to him, I prayed, because prayer is everything. But I believe, I'm just going to tell you what I believe. I believe that God is protecting him right now. I feel like God is protecting him. He's walking with him. And I feel very much that he has a relationship with God. And, just like you said, God is going to do things when he's ready. He's not going to do things when we want it. It's when he's ready. You understand what I'm saying? So that's how I believe. All right. Next question. Do you feel like Regina shutting everyone off that was close to Keith caused a hindrance in his recovery?
Yep. Okay. No doubt about it. That's why I'm fighting so hard. I was fighting for Ghost. I was fighting for Shay. I said that first meeting, I said I wasn't going to show up there without them two people. No matter what. I didn't even know Ghost that well, but I knew what he had done. And I know a friend, a true friend, would do the things that he has done, no matter what the criticism is or what these other people say. You can't negate the fact that this man did a lot of good things for this man. A lot of things that I don't want to mention, but I think he should mention it at his own time. And he's been very silent. He knows a lot more about Keith than a lot of us do.
Right.
And without going into that, I think I know the importance of having him around. He definitely needs Ghost around, because Ghost, it inspires him to be the person that he's capable of being. And he has a very unique way of doing it. And I believe he genuinely loves Keith. We talk every time I think about Keith. When I'm coming home from work, I call Ghost. He the first person I call. Like, man, I was thinking about Keith. Yeah, I was thinking about him too. He called me when I'm at work. We talk. Every time we talk for about maybe close to 2 hours. It's hard to even get off the phone, because, it brings some sense of normalcy. Even some of the things that I said, when I talked to him, he said, you know what? That's exactly what your brother said. Your brother said the exact same thing.
Yeah. Wow. So I believe, I don't know, I believe in one of your videos, you mentioned, or somebody mentioned, Ghost has seen him after the fact of him and Regina getting into it, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. So do you know if he's still seeing him? Like, does he still have him in his life? No?
No.
Okay.
I think that's another thing Miss Regina has created such he's made the decision that he don't want to be bothered with that solely because of that the things that he said, and he showed a lot of patience with that situation, because I don't think a lot of people that heard the things that my mom said about him would want to deal with somebody like that ever again. I think she didn't make wise choices with how she handled that situation. And it was based on assumptions. It wasn't based on anything that was factual. It was just assumptions and things that the influencer maybe put into the situation. And that was not helpful for Keith. See, and that's what the issue is, you know, when you got somebody that's influencing you that don't have that kind of relationship that person did.
We had some y'all. I'll tell y'all after this.
To even fathom somebody having that much influence over somebody.
Y'all heard Tello crying
for so long.
Could y'all hear me?
I just don't understand that. And why would you listen to somebody that you don't even know? It just don't make no sense.
That was going to be one of my questions, but you kind of already answered it. And what I think I hear you saying is that, because I was going to ask you, think that they can reconcile, but it sounds like to me that Ghost doesn't even want that to even deal with that situation because of what he's went through and, you know, the lies that were told on him and you know, so that's what it sounds like to me.
That's very painful and hurtful. And this man has a family. He has a reputation. And say things like this, that we know his family. You know, his family is close to my family.
You did not know that, boy. Why are you lying, Keith Kevin?
Some of his family.
Your mother went to school with his mother.
They told him, and I think that his moral compass is what elevated him to a position whereas he wouldn't stoop that low. Because he has a very firm foundation, family foundation, that would not allow him to speak on certain things because, and I think that's admirable, you know, because, and commendable because the things that she said and implied was very severe. And I think that should have been a personal conversation. I don't think that should have been something that should have been put on social media at all.
So I'm gonna go back because I was gonna skip this question, but I'm gonna go back. So as we heard about Dontrell, and we heard about Dontrell, you know, a couple times, and then Regina came and she said that Dontrell had AIDS.
Yeah.
Do you know why nobody ever reported it or nobody ever, I guess, went into depth about it? Because as far as I'm hearing, Toledo is small. So everybody knew Dontrell had this. And I guess people were wondering, well, why would she allow him with that to be around Keith? You know, knowing that Keith had different, you know, things going on. You know, you understand what I'm saying? So do you know why, or why didn't you yourself, why didn't you report it to anybody or whatever?
Because number one, is not, I don't want to put somebody's health status out there, and I couldn't control it anyway if I did tell everybody. What difference would it make if I told everybody? What could they do? She made the decision to bring that man into her house. That man a lot of people don't know.
You could have made a decision to go help your brother.
He's from somewhere else.
Damn, how desperate do your mom gotta be that she needs help?
To stay at someone else's house, and my mom, in the attempt of desperation, when he needed a place, allowed him to come over there. But she was well aware that man.
So he does realize his mom was in desperation. Okay.
So for her to come out here and say that she didn't know his status is disingenuous. Everybody knew it.
She didn't say
especially
that.
The people that she got him from.
Wow.
They already knew it. I was very concerned, but I was not going to put out somebody's health status.
Right.
That's one of the motivating factors in me pushing so hard as well, because that is a level of concern due to the nature of what's going on with my brother. Yeah, but what can I do about it? Even Even if I
What
came
does
out
his
and told
health,
everybody
that boy's
what
health
was going
status,
on,
have to do with him
what could
helping
anybody
Keith?
else do?
Let's be real.
Right. Right. Wow. So pretty much, he
Don't
was in
have nothing to do
jail,
with him helping
but
Keith.
he paroled to Ohio. So was he paroled to
Do
Regina's
y'all want to
house?
hear this,
Did she
or y'all?
like?
What
Is
y'all
that
want to do?
so? She just was like, okay, you can stay here because you ain't got nowhere else to go.
Okay.
Right, and this is around the time. This is around the time when. Now I can't say where he stayed before. I don't want to put other people involved in the situation.
Right.
But
Y'all done?
I can say that he was paroled to Ohio, and she knew his status, and she brought. And I think it was just an attempt of desperation because he had no help.
All right.
She's in this situation right now.
Y'all done?
She don't have much help.
No
she
more?
has to depend on.
Let's rebuttal.
At first, she was depending on Uncle Buki.
We're done here.
But when she fell out.
All right. We're done. All right. Anybody that want to come up, somebody in the queue. Come on, Karen. Come on, Vaughn. Be mindful, y'all. Let the other person finish talking and then start talking. Go ahead, King Super. Karen. Go ahead, Vaughn.
Girl, let me ask you this. Who is Dontrell? Did she ever release that man's name?
She did. She spoke on it. Dontrell was someone who she had helping out. He needed somewhere to live. In exchange, he could help Miss Regina kind of lift Keith. He was never there alone with him. Just she needed to get him in the shower, when she needed to like do heavy things with him, or I'm saying heavy things where she had to like lift them and things like that. He
Okay. I
was,
just have one more.
yeah.
When you're done. You was finished? I'm sorry. I'm triggered.
She did not say his name. I don't remember, and I don't want to lie or anything like that. He was a little muscle around the house, yes.
Okay.
And she allowed him to stay at one of his properties for a while. And that is another place where some of the funds were going. Because he was helping, she provided him room and board, food and everything. Because he couldn't work, he was there helping her. Yeah.
Okay. So this the last one. Well, this is just some advice for people. If you ever give a fucking interview and before every fucking question, you like, next question. Okay, so next question. Like, you don't talk. Who the fuck talk like that? And that shit pissed
Was
me
that what
off,
he
yo.
was saying to her?
No, that's what Nony before every goddamn question, she's like,
Oh, yeah.
okay,
Next
next
question.
question.
Yeah.
Girl, just talk.
Yeah.
Dumb bitch.
Yeah.
Man, pissed.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hey, Tommy.
Hey.
Now, the part where he threw me off is when he said when Keith got out of jail, he took him shopping, bought him clothes, gave him money, and bought him some shoes.
We know
If
that's
I'm not
the other way
mistaken, is
around.
that the same shit that Keith said?
Right. We know he
Oh,
put the
okay.
reversal on it. Correct.
Right. I'm like, this nigga just sitting here lying about this shit. And I'm like, no, he didn't just say the same shit Keith said. Like, no one saw that video.
Right.
Okay. All right. Thanks.
Welcome, boo. Yep. He put the reverse on it. And without Keith being here, he feels he's able to get away with it. But there are people who've been around for a long time who know that just isn't the truth. And in fact, it was the opposite. Keith actually. Hey, Queen of Hearts.
Hey, love. Okay, I think the confusion for me with Kevin is he keep talking about like what his mom is doing or not doing. The way Kevin should be over there after work or whatever he does during his
Right.
day,
Thank you, Rita.
taking care of the
Mm-hmm.
taking P to therapy and making sure he got
Mm-hmm.
what he I couldn't even hear what my mom was talking about, even if we was into it. And if my mom wouldn't let me in, she gonna have to call the police because I'll be climbing through her window to help my brother.
Baby
There's no
boo.
way. Yeah,
Yeah.
there's no way I would just be on the internet talking about what they lacking or desperation or any of that shit. I would be going above and beyond
Mm-hmm.
to help my brother at all costs. I just don't know what he getting out of like what he doing, because he really not doing nothing but getting on the internet. I have yet to hear him say, I went over there and took Keith for a walk. I took him to therapy. I go over there and cut my brother's hair. I go over there
To
and make
help.
sure his beard is cut. He
Right.
not doing shit but getting on the internet. That's crazy.
Right. That's right. Hey,
Hey y'all.
Qualified
That shit was so fucking boring. I left, came back, got high, fell asleep.
10.
That shit was boring as fuck.
Yeah.
It's the same shit he been saying forever. And what happened to we not gonna talk about Miss Regina or
Oh,
Tommy?
true.
That's all I heard.
Yeah.
I wanted to hear about what happened with the niece that didn't want to stay with him no more. That's what I wanted to hear about.
Now he told Dad, he said she wanted to go over her friend's house and she had been doing so well and for 5 days and all of a sudden she wanted.
See,
Yeah.
the thing I know about teenagers, I'm a little older. I probably got a good year and a half on you, Tommy.
Mm-hmm.
If your mama don't want their own unruly teenagers, I don't want them either.
You hear me? Mm-hmm.
I don't want them either. You don't take in no unruly teenagers that the own mama can't control.
And guess what? He actually avoided the question.
Mm.
Noni
I
asked,
told you I got high, dozed off. It
yeah,
was boring.
Noni asked him, do you think that Miss Regina was valid in the way she described their behavior? He answered everything but that.
And everything was Miss Regina. I thought she wasn't gonna be the topic.
Exactly.
Miss
Everything.
Regina don't even need to rebuttal on that because it was the same
It was all the
stuff.
same shit. Notice he left out the weed smoking and all of that. That's how you know
Right.
Kevin be lying. He be lying.
Oh,
And that's when
that was so
Jenna
fucking
pull
boring.
up. When he telling lies. Yep. So thank you. Thank you, y'all. Hey, young. I mean, go ahead, a lot of bit.
Yeah, and then he lied. Well, basically his interview is all bullshit, and Noni is full of shit because she didn't like. She just takes his answer and just go on with it. Take his answer and go on with it. She answers. She asks simple yes or no questions, and his yes or no question turned into one big ass novel and shit. Like answer the motherfucking question, and then when you told us that that you heard about the balloon release and shit. Now you seen it. Now you was there. Like, boy, shit, like just it's the lies for me. Like, come on now.
Right. That part. Hey, young mouth Dre.
Hey, you all help me if you can. Same shit, different day. That's all that is with Kevin. But I want to speak on when he said when he went in the service, his mom stole all his money.
Mm-hmm.
Now, my first son is a retired Marine, and he went over there and fought in that war where they caught that man, whoever he is. And of course, when he went in, we had to sign papers. If something happened to him over there, of course, I would get money for it, which I didn't want the money because I want my baby back home. The only way I got money from my son over there, and I reckon I ran wherever he was if he sent it to me.
Right.
I could not rob him of his money.
Right.
My second son, he's active military now. Of course, the same papers. I
Mm-hmm.
don't get money unless they give me money.
Right. Yeah.
I can't steal their money
Right.
because the only way you get that money is if they pass away.
Exactly.
So I'm not understanding that one right there, Tommy.
And see, Noni don't know enough and she's not experienced enough to even be knowledgeable or something like that to even push the question, and get the truth.
Right. Now that one really got me there. I'm like, that's not so. He said that woman stole all his money while he was over there. That's not.
Yep.
Time you going? Girl, I had so much to say, but I forgot a lot of it. But I'm gonna just say this. For everybody who was listening to that shit, right? We heard Kevin say, "Oh, my mom didn't even raise us. She wasn't there. She wasn't there."
Yep.
That's what he said other times, right? But if you read between the lines, this man said she was a single mother working 3 motherfucking jobs. They was in the bed at such and such time, and she did not motherfucking play.
Right. Yep.
Like what? Kevin talking in circles, bullshit. It's a mess. A real man would go and handle their family, take care of their shit. The fact that he tried to make it seem like he couldn't do nothing for his brother because he didn't know where the supporters were sending their money to, get the fuck out of here.
Mm-hmm. That
That's
part.
a mess.
It is.
Then you talking about who's godly? The 14-year-old, she didn't honor what she said she was going to do. Are you shitting me?
Yep.
A 14-year-old? We
Oh,
expect them to not honor their fucking word. That's what children do.
right.
He's just a mess. And the fact that the only people that are embracing him, condoning this bullshit, are the very people that wish bad on Pete, try to put ill, disgusting things on his name,
Mm-hmm.
speaks volumes. Could
Yep.
you imagine if Pete was like on the app listening to the commentary? Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Girl, I'm disgusted. I'm disgusted. I can see why they don't fuck with him like that. Every family got one, and he just the bad seed.
He is.
Fuck him.
It's really sad.
And Nony too.
Yeah.
Nony, you ain't shit. Whole life in shambles. Your daughter about pushing 40, and you still don't know who her fucking daddy is, and you worried about P and his family.
Yeah.
Lady, fuck you. Ugh.
That part.
So I did he ever say, I know she asked about the Cash App and I know he said he paid the water bill, but did he say what else he paid? Because the Cash App says save Keith. So if you saving Keith, why are you paying for the kids' phone bills?
Exactly.
Like if you saying save Keith, it's supposed to go to Keith and his well being, right? So what does the kids' Cash App and sandwiches and all that other stuff got to
Right.
do with him? I was confused. So he never really answered the question about exactly where he did with the money.
He
But
know.
no, he said, "Well, I seen the receipts." Girl, you ain't seen no
Of what?
receipts.
Exactly. And he never showed the receipts of him paying for phones.
And that's why. Okay, so he only got $400 per kid for a $400 phone bill. Hell, my phone bill ain't $400.
Thank you.
It just that didn't make sense to me.
Mm-mm.
He just like,
Hey, boo. Yeah, he never showed receipts of him actually paying for phones or phone bills. And let's just be real here. I'm gonna keep it a bug. I just am curious. Something is telling me because there is something that came out that people not really they harped on it, but they really didn't. They not really telling it like they should tell it. The girls, I was told this directly by Shay. The girls weren't, they were living with Keith before his accident. But when the accident, something was, Keith was going through something with them that he didn't make public. He didn't speak on it. So it's hard for me to believe that Keith didn't know that they cell phones was off. Follow me now. Keith was going through something with the girls that he did not make public. So it's hard for me to fathom that their cell phones weren't already off. They didn't just get turned off. I won't believe that. Hey, Keith
Hey
White.
Tommy, I hope you guys can hear me. I'm driving. But I wanted to ask because I remember when first came on with the Save Keith 419. He
Mm-hmm.
said he was going to save all of that money and not touch it until Keith got better.
Yeah.
What happened with that? Now we paying bills and we buying food and stuff for the kids. What happened to saving the money that you and Ghost was because Ghost was supposed to help him with this cash out.
Yep. He
So what
started
happened
seeing
with
the
that?
money flowing, and it started burning his pocket.
And I truly believe that, because my thing is, you can't make me believe that it's so important to pay a kid's cell phone bill when their daddy is down. That's just how I think about it.
Mm-hmm.
No, so here's my take on it. So if he believed in Shay so much and he listened to what Keith said and now he was respect what Keith said about Shay, why didn't why didn't he start a cash app that Shay had? Why didn't he endorse Shay's cash app just like you endorsed Miss Regina's? Why is the money going to him if he believed that everything is supposed to be going to her, just like Keith said? Hmm?
Well,
Right.
exactly. And that's a good point you brought up, because he was totally against the people who urge, is what he used to say at first when Shay and Miss Regina were working together. He was totally against them. So I think they came together once Miss Regina parted ways with everybody. That kind of forced Shay, I think, to go ahead and, because remember, he ended up with a picture of P's jewelry. He ended up with a picture of Keith's jewelry. And how? He got that picture through Don Shay. She's the only one with the jewelry. So what would make Don Shay send the picture to Kevin, who she warned us about? Like, don't talk to him, stay away from him. I don't speak to him. I stay far away from him. What would prompt her to go ahead and make her comfortable enough to trust him? Stop lying. Okay. What would prompt her enough to stop lying? I mean, to stop being so afraid of him or so cautious about him? I don't know if it was to go against me, because at that point, it was so far past me. This was like money was on the flow. It was like, uh, she was, Miss Regina had already parted ways with her in reference to the money. Who back, Ro? Who back, babe?
Hey, Tommy. Tommy, can you hear me?
Hey, uh-huh.
Okay, so this is the question that I have. Because the girls was staying with Pete before the accident, right?
Yes, ma'am.
So I don't understand why they're not still staying there.
So
Why did they have to move out when the house is paid for?
So let me
He
tell you
wouldn't
what
want them to
happened,
live there.
Gigi, so I can make
Huh?
this understand. So what Keith was going through with them, where the girls were on runaway. That is what I was told by Shay. They had ran away from home, and that's what Keith was going through before his accident.
Okay,
That's
okay,
how I know. That's what's making me lean more towards um Keith knew that those cell phones weren't on.
okay,
You
okay.
know what I'm saying? Because what he was already dealing with, that he didn't make public to us.
Auntie
Right.
Tommy,
Hey, which is why nobody, you get what I'm saying? They had already been on runaway. When they learned of the accident, they had to go find the girls and bring them back to the house.
Okay,
Yes,
okay,
ma'am.
okay. Thank you, Tommy, because
You
that
welcome.
had me fucked up. But
Yeah,
thank you.
you
hey
welcome.
Auntie Tommy, hey everybody, how
Hey,
y'all?
now, hey, Creeble.
Um, I ain't came up in a while. I ain't been feeling good. But do y'all not remember?
Oh, girl,
It
you've
was
been
too
singing your
long.
heart out. We heard you over there singing
Who was I singing to?
you were singing the Leah. I knew your voice. I
I
said,
probably had me
sing,
a drink
sister,
in
sing,
it.
sister.
Probably had me a drink. No, but I was singing some real shit. I mean, not no shit, because I
Oh,
was
yeah,
singing
you
the
can
church
sing it
music
now.
to it.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, you had the
But,
word in it, baby.
but Auntie, do you not remember right before all that stuff happened? Remember he had dropped them off to the movies, and they were supposed to be going to the movie with some friends, and they was up in there with some boys, and something happened.
Something happened when they was with the little boy. So he was like, I don't know why y'all keep lying to me. I don't know why y'all keep lying or whatever. I'm coming to get y'all right now.
Yeah.
And so, why people want to make like, oh, them is children. Children ain't got no say so in nothing. They don't know if they going or coming. They don't even know how to
Right.
clean up themselves good enough to even say that I am a woman
Right.
or whatever. But that was right before all of that happened that Keith had to go back up to the movies because he was like, man, I can't even believe y'all lied to me. All you gotta do is tell me the truth. All you gotta do is tell me the truth or whatever. He said, see, y'all get caught up in situations when y'all go to lying, then that's when you get caught up.
Yeah. Yeah.
I remember that. So whatever anybody got to say, them kids don't need to be left no alone in no house by themselves.
And
If
that's
they have a
all.
mama, they got a grandma, they need to learn how to obey somebody.
Right.
Somebody need to put a belt across they tails and let them know y'all still young. Y'all need to obey somebody. I
Yeah.
come from the country. Shoot.
Mm-hmm.
I'm in my 30s. If I
Mm-hmm.
disrespected my daddy will take his belt off and hit me and I won't say nothing to him. I bet not.
Right. Yep, that's true. All right, boo.
Before that
Mm-hmm.
happened, they were doing some foul stuff, and I don't even know what you just said. Like you said that they were running away or doing
Well, they,
whatever,
they they
whatever,
kids,
whatever.
been there, done that.
Yeah.
Hey, I got a daughter who was young at once. So when I was told it, I definitely could relate. Wasn't none judgmental or nothing. And I understood. I think a little more because I knew that part of it, and I knew typical teenage stuff, and I knew Miss Regina wasn't just putting them out. Something else that keeps getting left out is the oldest daughter was living there. She was staying there, and she was going live on Bigo. She had created a Bigo account, and she was going live. So that was also too breaching their privacy. She was going live in Keith's house, and thank God Shay got her to stop going live before anybody could find out. Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna get down. That's all I want to say because I remember that when you said that there were problems before Keith did get
Absolutely.
sick.
Absolutely.
So
She did come in my room. She came in my room more than once. And she did reach out to me. And that's how I learned that she had been going live on Vigo. Hey, God is my refuge.
Hey, Tommy, how you doing, love?
Good. How are you?
Fine. You feeling okay?
Yeah, I'm all right.
Uh, good, good. I came in a little late and caught it at the end,
Mm-hmm.
but Kevin has been doing some foul stuff, as we know, for quite a long time, and also, he came on here. He said that all the money was going spent for the bills and for the kids. And he also said that he had been paying their cell phone bills and taking care of the kids. That's what I, last heard. But
Mm-hmm.
all I've seen here is that he's been getting some new stuff, new stuff for that YouTube and what podcasts, and he
Mm-hmm.
done bought a brand new car. He's getting stuff for himself.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see nothing else that he has done or anything that he has said that he has put the money up or put it to the side or anything. So he's just making money off of this
Absolutely. Left and right.
save a key.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, left and right. So, if it's anybody, being a fraud or scam, it's him.
Mm-hmm.
So, that's what they need to look at, why he here hollering. So I just wanted to say that, that's the issue too, you
Yeah.
know. So, but you take care, my love. I'm
You
back in the
too.
comments.
All right.
All right.
Thank
Love you,
you.
babe. Bye bye.
Bye bye. Hey, KK.
Hi.
Hey, sister.
Hey, how you doing?
Good and you?
I'm doing all right. I just wanted to say something as to like he was asked a question about the kids and the religion And he always likes to say he gives people choices. Well, what kind of choice would they really have when they're young? The situation that P was dealing with before they left. They may have been a little defiant, and their phones were off. They needed their phones on. So, what type of choice were you really giving them when you were saying, okay, if you're going to be in my house, you have to practice whatever religion we're doing? A choice would have been, hey, between such and such time, we're going to be having Bible study. I just ask that not turn the TV on or whatever. We need quiet time. That would be a choice. But not if you're in my house, you've got to practice my religion. And if you don't,
Right.
I'm not giving you no money. He
Right.
did it under the lure of money.
Right.
So what type of choice with that? That's all
Exactly.
about control still.
Absolutely.
Hmm.
And luring them with
And
money
what's
is perfectly put.
right,
I do feel
right.
that.
Because when he got them, the
Yeah.
first thing he did was put them online. First thing
Mm-hmm.
he did, put them online, had them answering questions, and then after a couple of days, when they didn't want to conform, then that's when all the issues started.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Hey, Lauren.
Yep.
Hey, boo. Hello. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
She was saying, hey, every time I come up. No, I just had a.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, man.
Good.
No, so why Noni ain't do her typical Bigo thing when she like, no, 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 no. Answer the question. No, 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 no.
Right.
When she asked him were the kids' behavior is what Regina said it was, he went all around the
Exactly.
mulberry bush and praised her for being a strong black mother and working 3 jobs.
Talk your shit.
What?
Uh-huh.
Ooh, I'm talking my shit.
Talk your
Okay,
shit.
okay. So why the fuck she ain't ask him motherfucker no, no, no? Yes or no was yeah. Oh, I'm talking my shit. Okay, I'm with y'all.
Oh, I think that was Miss OG Maca just cammed up accidentally and crazy B box girl. Ugly as a motherfucker. Mm. Now you wanted to get up here to do that. I didn't get it, but bitch, I sure seen it. I ain't get it that bad because I just clicked on it and I was like, God damn. But yeah, she did not push that question. He never answered that question because I don't know if it's that he just don't want to agree with her or what. This interview was just some repetitive ass shit, waste of time ass shit. I did see Roro's comment. They said we missed something over there. They said Kevin did admit that he is who has been bringing the family business. And did I catch it right, Roro? Okay. Said he did admit that he's been bringing out a lot of and hey.
Oh no, I was gonna let you finish.
Right.
No, you was right. He did admit that, and he said that it was on purpose. No bad publicity. He doesn't think any publicity is bad publicity. But I did want to say this. He said that when they bring out facts, I bring out facts. There's no possible way that both parties are going to have facts, Kevin. You dumb nigga. Like there's either one factual, something facts here, and then something's a lie. So I just want to say that. My bad.
Yeah. And what they're doing is when the lie comes out, see, that's how you know he's a liar. Miss Regina's more of a rebuttaler. I'm more of a rebuttaler. Okay. We wait until the lies come out because I just don't see why anyone who really cares for Keith is okay with tolerating lies coming out about him. I just don't see that. If you really for him, it should never be okay that he's being lied on. He hasn't told a lie not one time. What you mean? He's lied so many times about Keith's health condition. He's lied about having possession of the jewelry. He's lied about the dogs being sold. He's lied about just I can go on and on and on. I know they joking. I know they joking. Tell me I haven't told a lie. Chatty Patty. You know, the dogs passed away. And I don't know why he just can't tell the truth about that. Miss Regina has told me what happened with the dogs. See, he wants to try to make it like Miss Regina getting money left and right. But these are things that nobody was coming to help out with. She was actually paying somebody to come over there to try to keep up with the dogs, and they were basically getting her. Zola, did Zola pass away? I know Zola was really sick last I heard, but I can't remember, and I don't want to die. I don't want to die, Lord. I sure don't want to die, but I don't want to lie. Okay. I think he was saying that to try to plant this seed that Miss Regina was getting all this money, and she just wasn't. She could not take care of Keith, his special needs son, and the dogs. So this was like the least Kevin could have been coming over there to do. Come feed the dogs. Take care of the dogs. Hell, take the dogs with you. I don't think Miss Regina would have minded that at all. She's only one person. And so I don't want to get the names mixed up. I do know she told me one of them died. The other one ran off. One of them ran off, which I told her myself, I don't think that dog ran off. I think one of them got that dog. Somebody got that dog. He just had the nerve to say he was never touched. He was never touched or abused. He's the golden child. Well, maybe he wasn't. We don't have any, we never heard Keith say anything like that or nothing, Zola was already given back to Big Unc, to, his uncle. We know the uncle has passed away. They call him Big Keith, but we know him as Unc. So I would have to check with Green Eyes to see if how Zola's doing. The last time I talked to Green Eyes, Zola wasn't doing too well, but she was able to go by Miss Regina. See, this stuff I don't be even want to tell, because I like a liar to be a liar. Let him lie all he wants. So while he been saying, can't nobody see Keith, she trying to keep him away from people. That's the furthest from the truth. Green Eyes was able to go by. Y'all know Green Eyes from over here. Big Keith's wife. She was able to go by and spend some time with Keith. She took Zola by. And that was a couple of months back. What you mean, Tam? That was a couple of months back after Big Keith passed, after Unc passed. Zola had, started depleting a little bit, because at that point she didn't have Keith or Unc. I miss him too, pipe down. Somebody said Kevin. Well, Keith has said that. We got video of Keith saying that. I don't want to misquote nothing, so I won't say the name of the dogs, because I don't want to say the wrong name. Oh, I forgot. Hey, boo. Maya, I forgot to tell you, Maya made you some of them grapes. And look how you got your bed. Come on now. Push your drawers in and stuff and put your sheet on your bed the right way. But Maya made you some of them grapes, and they in the freezer down there in a Tupperware in the kitchen. So, let me pull up the article. Over the weekend, on little Tello Daddy side, baby, there ain't nothing nice. Baby, they don't play. They don't play, they don't play, they don't play. So, one of his little cousins was murdered on the dad's side. And I didn't tell Tello. Trina live and he ended because he said the interview was boring. Ooh. One of the little boy was murdered. When me and Tello dad was together, he would spend a lot of little time at our house. Once I had little Tello, I just be so nervous. He was a young man. Let me pull it up. Let's see. Older than Tello, of course. Man. Hold on. Let me pull it out. He passed, and I didn't tell him because I don't know. I probably should have told him, but I didn't tell him. And Tello, of course, Big Tello called Little Tello tonight on his phone. And of course, he told him tonight. It happened a couple days ago. So here is the article. Happened 2 days ago. And I'm so mad at Big Tello because he should have called me. Girl, Little Tello just broke down. He broke down in here. He looked at me. He said, "Ma, this is why the interview was on." He said, "Did you hear about what happened to my little cousin?" I said, "Yeah, Tello." I said, "I'm so sorry." And girl, he just broke all the way down. So, I've always said, you know what? These people over here, they into a lot, baby. And I'm gonna tell you, they can fuck with these people if they want to. Okay? They ain't the ones, the twos or the threes. Okay? They're a very big family. Latello made number 68 grandbaby. And he 11 years old. Big Tello got 10 sisters and 4 brothers. They are nothing to play with, baby. Okay? They get down for only get down. Okay? They GDs and they do not play. So they can play with these people if they want. This story, I think, was followed by a crime chaser. The guy that be following all the killings and stuff that happen in Chicago. These people, big time GDs from Robert Taylor's, baby. So they can play with it if they want. Okay? I wouldn't suggest it. You can go to them, holler in my name all you want. Latello is their family, and they'll bust a brick behind Tello. Okay? So play with it if you want. Let's see if I can get the article.
A shooting in the Greater Grand Crossing kills 2 men. Sky Fox over the scene. You are looking at 69th and State, where police tell
That's
us
where they from.
the 2 men were driving northbound on State Street when another vehicle pulled up and shot them. The men, 30 and 22 years old, were rushed to the hospital in critical condition. They later died there. No one has been arrested.
Okay. So, of course, short story, two black men in the hood, baby. But it happened on 68th and State Street, which is 2 blocks from Tello Mother's house.
5
Big
charges
Tello
filed
Mama
after
house.
an off-duty Oak Lawn police sergeant is shot. Police say he was working.
Killed them. Yeah. Oh, wait, here we go. I think this guy was out there when it happened.
Oh, yeah. Y'all might want to get up there. Yeah, you been, son?
I'm very mad at Teller, because Big Teller.
No doubt about it.
A lot of females.
This is crazy.
Yes, in Chicago too. They don't play, baby.
Be out here. This is a shooting, a drive-by shooting, as y'all can see, 69th and State Street. Just a drive-by shooting. 40, 50 shell casings. So it's assures that nobody else outside of the car got hit except the people that's in the car. So summer, it's not even hot yet. Not even hot yet. And here we go. But we gotta figure out what to do about this here. This summer is approaching us, and unfortunately, I still maintain what I've maintained. Graveyards and prison for our community. Graveyards and prison for our community. Resources are limited as well. And the way that they doesn't necessarily trickle down to the individuals who
that is Tyrone
in these activities. So,
and the case is not getting solved. Somebody's saying that in the comments. And I rebuke it too. I'll be keeping Tello right up under me. And this why I want him to communicate with me. You follow him too? This why I want him to communicate. You let me know. You talk to me. Hey, mom, leaving. Hey, mom, home. Hey, I need to talk. That start young. I don't want him just walking out the door, And but he get it though. And we just had us a little moment. But Tello a quiet child, and baby, when I tell you he just broke down. He just broke down so hard. He really did. Sad. But this him right here. I'm gonna show y'all him. Little man. Yeah. So. Yeah. Aww. Yeah. So that was hard to hear for me, but I didn't tell Tello. I wasn't. Oh, this must be why his friend was messaging me like, have Tello call me. But I didn't tell Tello, and notice he did not call my phone. You sent me the video. He called little Tello phone. Go ahead, call him.
Hey, Tommy.
Mm-hmm.
I'm at work, so I gotta make it quick.
Mm-hmm.
But why you ain't tell us? Oh, I don't know if you know this. Ed motherfucking daughter got an ass beat.
Eb daughter?
Yeah, by China Red motherfucking daughter.
Oh no, that ain't her girl.
No, dead ain't.
Huh?
Dead ass. And what's her name? Daughter had her little friends. So Ed over there trying to get the girl name, talking about we're gonna turn this video. They got a video of the fight. So Ed talking about we're gonna turn this into the police and get the little girl locked up.
So
why? Is your daughter like you? Y'all can't fight.
No. They told us that was a 29-year-old. Huh?
Hello?
Yeah. They said that was a 29-year-old woman. We watched it yesterday.
No, ma'am. Listen to Ed. They just got trying to red clip. If you're trying to lock them kids up, them are kids.
Girl, let me listen over here. Cause maybe it's something we missed. That was not that look.
It missed a whole lot. But I had to call. You know I had to call. Because I was like, what the fuck?
Okay, boo. I don't think that was KK though. All right. I don't think that was KK. Because remember, we watched that yesterday. Yeah, and her daughter like 12. That girl is 19. Eb trying to hate on them for whatever reason. I don't know what Eb gets out of all her hating. Okay. Somebody can. Ooh, come on now, sisters. Okay, here's somebody that came up with 3 discrepancies in Keith Kevin's thing. 1, on YouTube, he once said his father was in his life and was a great man. Today, in the interview with Nony, he said his father was not in his life. Now, that was one, I noticed that too. 2, he said his mom barely had them. Today in the interview, he said his mom raised them, worked 3 jobs.
Hey, yo, what's up? This TV Killer. I hope you enjoy the content that you just watched. I need you to do me a small favor. Hit the description box, click on the beacon link, follow me on all social media platforms, including Rumble, where I put all the exclusive content that I can't put on YouTube. You know, all of the cussing and the fussing. Yeah, TV Killer forever.